A short drive north of Adelaide and you reach the Southern Flinders Ranges. It's a great cycle-friendly region and it plays host to the Fat Tyre Festival in a small town called Melrose. Steve, tell us about the Fat Tyre Festival.
Yeah, sure. Fat Tyre Festival is a celebration of all things mountain bike. So we have all sorts of different events. We have trail rides, we have technical skills sessions. We also have workshop sessions for your bike, so finding out how to service your bike and repair your bike. And we also have the clunker criterium, which is always a bit of a fun one where people just dust off their old bike from their sheds and bring them out and ride them through the streets.
They're clunkers, so to speak.
They're clunkers.
The fish guru, I do believe. Alistair, how did you get this name firstly?
Well, I've always been pretty passionate about fish, even though, I mean, that might be strange because I was brought up in this little town on a farm. But we used to go fishing with Dad and Grandpa, and I think I've just always loved fish, so ended up studying them quite intensely.
Bit of a nickname then that this kind of carried forth. Now you're a long way from the sea. You're actually in Melrose. What were you doing in Melrose?
Well, I guess I was brought up here, but, you know, I've lived all around the world, and I was in Scotland playing with fish last, and then came back here to my hometown and just hanging out here and thinking this is such a beautiful place to bring up kids, and then mountain biking into the scene, and that was a new direction for me because it wasn't something I'd done.
Well, that's true. You opened this shop that we're standing in right now, and it kind of seems a bit bizarre. Why would you start a mountain biking shop up here? It's kind of a bit of a scary field to enter into. How did that come about?
Well, it came about because I met this maniac from the United States, from a little town there called Fruita in Colorado, and he was invited over by Bike SA, and we just hit it off really well, and he came up here and said this could be a really cool place to have mountain bike trails, and there wasn't any trails, and then the shop wasn't talked about, but then it was just the trails for starters, and then we thought, wow, it'd be really cool to have a shop here as well. So Over the Edge is a little shop in Fruita, Colorado 15 years ago, and we are Over the Edge here, so we're a little sort of a semi-franchise of that store.
Like a brother-sister kind of thing happening.
Well, it even got to the stage where Melrose is now a sister city of Fruita in Colorado officially, so we're pretty intrinsically linked. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's really putting Melrose on the map, definitely. Now, I understand you have a lot to do with this Fat Tyre, not flat, Fat, F-A, like P-H-A-T or F-A-T, Fat Tyre Festival. Now, can you tell us how that all started?
Yeah, well, again, it's kind of started in Colorado where the first Fat Tyre Festival started 15 years ago, and it was a concept there of there's races everywhere where people go to mountain bike races, and that's been the real format of getting mountain bikers together to ride. But the Fat Tyre Festival format is let's just come to ride and just have a good time and just ride. And it's a social event, you know, it's about having fun. The riding takes place, but the feature events are actually kind of not the riding because we're going to ride anyway. Throw some passion in, put some really beautiful trails in that people rave about. They're hand built, so every trail is one swing of a pick, moves at, you know, a few inches. So we've got 80 kilometres of purpose-built single track, and that's what the people come for. It's that brand of single track that's curving beautifully through the hills. It's so nice to ride.
Fresh from the Death Star, we have the Lord Sith, who is going to be judging one of the competitions.
Give me that thing! So what we're doing is the Clunker Crit, and it's a brainchild of mine that we've done in Fruita for 15 years, and it's really less of a competition and more of a talent show or a display of nonsense. So what we do is I just make up some rules, they race around the block, they do silly things, wear costumes, bring bikes that are of all sorts of creations, and have fun.
Now, I found an international traveller with us. Excuse me, ma'am, what's your name?
Iva. I've fallen off a lot.
Oh, you have? And on the way here?
No, that is my name.
Oh, okay, sorry, Iva. It's lovely to meet you. Now, have you been shopping around here yet and bought, food? Do you know what food is?
Yes, they have very cheap potatoes here.
It's fantastic. Are you going to be taking potatoes home to your family by any chance?
At least 5 or 6 kilos I can fit in the basket.
Well, let's hope that you don't fall off too much, Iva.
this lovely outfit, I've decided, is the winning formula.
Let's just take a moment here. Let's talk about your Spokey Dokies. Now, I see you've upgraded your player's card. Is it not just a little bit more street to have a player's card in the front there rather than going for the high-class Spokey Dokies?
It is. That's all about the style.
One of the events that happen around here is the Mawson Marathon. Stephen, can you tell us a little bit about this event?
Yeah, sure. The Mawson Marathon actually follows the Mawson Trail. The Mawson Trail's it's over 1,000 kilometres. It's a cycling trail that runs through South Australia, and the Mawson Marathon runs from Blinman to Melrose, which is over 300 k's worth of cycling. And what the guys do is they start off. There's a stage race, so they do different stages over 4 days. Or if you're a little bit more hardcore, you can do an endurance race, which starts on the Friday and ends on the Saturday. And on the Friday, you ride all the way from Blinman to Melrose non-stop. And then if you're really hardcore, you can do the Triple Peak Challenge, where you ride your bike to the bottom of St Mary's Peak and then run up St Mary's Peak and then run back down, ride your bike to Mount Brown, run up it, back down, and then ride your bike to Mount Remarkable and run up it and down again as well.
Stephen, I'm pretty puffed out just listening to that.
That's why I didn't compete.
Well, there's definitely more than one way to get to Melrose on a bike, and if you can't pedal power, you may as well score yourself a ride on the motor-powered vibe. Now, one of the more well-known riders who knows the Southern Flinders Ranges like the back of her hand, Sarah, welcome. Now, tell us, you've got a few stats to your name. Can you just list off a couple of the high-profile stats you've got?
Yeah, the recent national series, I was silver medalist at national champs and finished 8th in elite in Australia.
So you've definitely been riding a push bike for a while. You know how to handle yourself on those two wheels, but unfortunately not so good because you got a strap around your neck. What happened?
I broke my collarbone a week ago racing downhill, so I took up downhill just as a bit of a fun thing, and it's been good for my skills and just something fun, but this isn't so fun.
So how long is that going to put you out for?
Probably another month, so 5.
Is it a little bit sad watching everyone else around us ride away?
It's a little bit of a bummer, but that's okay. It's still good atmosphere and good to be here.
What brings you back to the Southern Flinders Ranges so often?
The trails, just this town's just amazing. You've got everything at your doorstep that you need. You can go for rides for an hour or 5 hours, there's just everything here. So it's, the locals are great. It's just a great town.
You train mostly in this area, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot of trails, not just in Melrose, but also around...
Yeah, we've got trails at Orroroo and out at Benelby Ranges as well. So, there's plenty of riding to be done out here.
Some of the more advanced riders really want to know what the single track's like around here. What have they got in store for them?
Okay, you've got some really technical trails. Off camber, real tight. You've got rock gardens, just a lot of obstacles. Creek crossings. It's really technical, but there are trails if you don't want the challenge as well. So
they're definitely going to have a bit of a hard time getting around?
Yeah, hopefully.
In the most positive way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, it's always a good challenge. There's always, I ride the trails so often and still there are things that challenge me. So
good stuff.
I hit a rock too hard on the brakes. Go. Yeah. OT's new gearing system's really taken off in 2011. It's just formidable. You can interchange it with your hand. You can lift it up to the seat, and you can just reach down and just snap it right into place. Brilliant engineering.
Now, it's been a huge day already of so many activities. It's time to take just a little bit of a break and find out how it all started. With me is a resident and local of Melrose. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much.
Now, just give us a little brief history of how this all came about.
Oh, well, about 9 years ago, we owned the local coffee shop, and the executive director of Bike SA, a bloke called Peter Solly, was in town on a bike, 40 degrees, and they were actually doing an audit on the Mawson Trail ready for 2002, Year of the Outback. And over a cup of coffee, what you see today was born.
And Michael, the Southern Flinders Ranges has just got a huge array of tourism happening here, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's obviously, we've got coastal and we've got a great topography, so I guess that's the original reason that cycling made such a great fit. But there's such a huge calendar of events that go on around this region anyway, of all sorts of, whether it's music festivals or food and wine festivals. So we've actually, the logic with the cycling thing is it made a great fit to get into an upgrade accommodation, start to get people thinking about tourism in a much broader role, and then the food and wine delivery, etc., that we also have, because we also have a geographical indicator with the Southern Flinders wine region as well. So we're actually, you know, we're able to deliver everything to the tourists that the tourists would want. We've already got people from interstate now coming to talk to us because we're seen as something of a model in various areas. So.
Yeah, I understand there is a connection with Colorado over in the States.
Yeah. When we originally did our overseas study tour to actually determine if cycling was the right thing for us, we stumbled across Troy Rarick in Fruita, Colorado, and he has been pivotal as well in helping us develop this area.
And that's not all we have in store for the Southern Flinders Ranges, is it, Michael?
No, not at all. Obviously, strategically, we're now working on our master plan to deliver us as a world-class destination, because that's the vision. We're now actually starting to now work on our next major project, which is soft adventure tourism, because again, everything is here that lends itself to that. As they say, Flinders Ranges, better on a bike.